What's poppin', world? I hope all is well. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that bell so you get a notification every time I go live and every time I post a video. If you've been here before and you know I'm about to put that fire out, go ahead and hit that like button so we get to the YouTube algorithm and more people can see these videos. Let's get into this. Today, we're going to watch a clip from the La Pifless talk show. And in this clip, a young lady is saying that we need to get away from this conversation about women eating men, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to give it all to you. I'm going to let you hear from the horse's mouth. And I'm going to break down as to if she's off or to as if she's on to something. Let's get into this.
I think it's dangerous. I feel like when it comes to like women in marriage, to be completely honest, it's not necessarily a bad thing that those numbers are declining, because most women who are married with kids, I'm sure that that's what they wanted, but women who are single and who choose to just live a life of fulfilling themselves tend to outlive those women. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that they're choosing not to, get married and have kids. I think that we should just be more progressive when, like, moving away from, like, having another person, whether a man or a woman, whether heterosexual or homosexual, whatever lifestyle you choose. I think that we should get away from the conversation of needing another person to compensate for who they are or what they're lacking inside, or needing another person to fulfill them or make them whole, or needing another person to make them have a purpose in life.
All right, guys. So you saw that, you heard that. For one, she said that women who are single with no children outlive women who are married with children. If someone could find that stat, please send it to me, right? Please send me that. I don't believe that's true at all. And she said, we need to get away from the conversation of a woman eating a man to be fulfilled and the purpose and all this other stuff, right? Now, is she on to something? Or is she off? Well, you clicked on this video for a reason. So I'm going to break it all the way down to you. Let me tell you right now. She's off. And she's way off, right? Let's break it down. So there's a reason why this conversation, right? This men and this women, this bonding together, why we can't get along in relationships, why we can't stay married, yada, yada, yada. There's a reason as to why these conversations have blown up, right? On the internet, on YouTube, over the course of, I'll say, the past 5 to 10 years. Why? Because it's in our nature to be with one another, right? So this is a topic that the majority of us really care about. This is a topic that the majority of us really care about, right? Another thing, we were put on this earth to procreate. We were put on this earth to bond with one another, right? And I'm speaking about men and women. We were put on this earth. Even if you get biblical with it and go to Genesis 2:18, right? As to when God is saying that no man should be alone, right? And he created Eve out of Adam's rib. And he said that the woman was created to be the man's helpmate. Or some say helpmeet, right? There's a reason for all of that, guys. We are meant to be with one another. I'm talking about men and women, right? Let's just lay a firm foundation on that part, right? Another thing, suicide rates are up. The rate of women who are medicated in this day and age, it's also up, right? Here's why those numbers are up. The group of women in this day and age, right? Many of them lack love. Many of them are stressed out. Many of them are depressed. Many of them are medicated. Many of them have anxiety, right? And there are more reasons, right? Many of them are overweight because they are overeating out of being stressed. Not because they're big boned or because, genetics, but simply because they're stressed out, right? All of these things go together. All of these things go hand in hand, right? This whole independent movement, yada, 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 it's not working for most women. It's not working. Many of these women are tired and stressed out. Let's just keep it 100. Many of these women are tired and stressed out. They literally have to lean on their family and friends to get through. And I'm not necessarily talking about financially, but I'm talking about from a psychological standpoint. I'm talking about from an emotional standpoint, right? Spiritual standpoint. Many of these women are burnt out. And I'm speaking about the ones who are single, trying to draw a line in the sand or build a wall up against men. And some of them are not necessarily drawing a line in the sand or building a wall or anything like that. They just can't get the men they want, so they're holding out. But it is killing them on the inside. It's killing them on the inside. Now, what she's pushing is isolation. That's what it is. Low key, what she's pushing is isolation, right? Now, let me ask you this. When men or women go to jail or prison, what is a form of punishment, right, to further punish an inmate? It's isolation. If you want to further punish an inmate, you would isolate them, right? You put them down in a dungeon, right? You put them in a straitjacket. Different things you do. You put them in a hole, right? You isolate them for 23 hours. And I believe they get out for 1 hour. You isolate them. That is a form of punishment. Why do you have women like this trying to isolate these women? That's what it is. It's isolation, right? Many of these women are stressed out because of rejection, because of isolation. They're alone. They're lonely. Many of them lonely. All of these are reasons as to why women are stressed out, depressed, on medication, so on and so forth, right? Struggling financially. That's another thing. Look at the state of the economy. It's getting worse. Prices are going up on everything. Many of these women cannot afford to be alone. They can't afford to live alone. The amount of women I hear saying they got a roommate, right? They got this going on. They got that going on, right? Struggling to pay bills. Bonding or choosing not to bond with a man, that's not helping you. Choosing not to get on a man's program, that's not helping you. Choosing to be an independent woman, that's not helping you. That is not helping you, guys. We got to stop listening to this type of rhetoric. We have to stop listening and buying into this type of rhetoric. It is running a lot of women into the ground, right? You were put here to be a man's helpmate. You were put here to bond with a man. You were put here to follow a man in some way, shape, or form. This rhetoric, by following this rhetoric, it is not helping you. It is hurting you. Simply put, it is not helping you. It is hurting you. Many of you women are failing because you have a lack of order in your life, right? That's what men will put here to guide you and create some type of order. You have a lack of order. That's why your life is going the way that it is, in a negative way. Stop listening to this type of rhetoric. Men, if you come across these women who are talking about this independent stuff, they don't need a man, yada, 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 they don't really need you, run the other way. Don't deal with them. If you bind yourself with one of these women, it is going to drive you crazy. It's going to stress you out. She's going to prove to you that she doesn't need you. She's going to do it by doing different things. And when a woman is proving that she doesn't need you, it could cause a whole nother world of problems that you don't want to go down. And it's going to cause you as a man, in some cases, to do some things you don't want to do that you shouldn't be doing that could be detrimental to you and your life. Right? And another thing. A lot of these women who talk like this, they still going to have sex. They still going to do something, do that. Now, in this day and age, how safely can you be out here having sex and doing all this other stuff, right? How can you do it safely? What are the chances, right? You're taking a risk. The best way to do these things is by bonding with one person. Bonding with one person, not doing what she's talking about. That makes life so much harder, especially for these women. Especially for these women. Guys, don't do that. Get you a woman who has genuine desire for you and will admit as to how she needs you and why she needs you. Get you a woman who's willing to show some humility when it comes to that. Don't get you one of these women who saying they don't need you and they good and women shouldn't bond with men and all this. Don't do it. Leave it alone. It's going to bring a world of problems, right? And as a man, you will never feel fulfilled with a woman like that. You will never feel fulfilled with a woman like that, because she is not going to bow down and allow herself to let you know as to why and how she needs you, right? She's going to be so busy trying to do her own thing. But that's all I got for you guys. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. I could be off. Remember, guys, keep God first. I love you all. Be blessed.